It was when we were sitting in an empty apartment without a stick of furniture that it really hit me. We just gave up everything we owned to travel full time.
Now it's just us, our dogs, and a couple of suitcases, and I don't think we've ever been happier.
If you're new to our channel, I'm Gillian.
And I'm Stephanie. We're a couple who retired early, sold everything we own, and now we travel full time. And we want to inspire you to have more freedom and more adventure in your life.
If you've been following our story, welcome back for another episode in Malta, where we've been staying for the past few weeks. Don't forget to come back for our cost of living video where we share just how expensive it is on this beautiful island.
Today, our lives are pretty simple. We're full-time travelers, we spend a month or two in each country, and then we move on to the next one. At this stage in life, we've decided to focus more on experiences and not on possessions. So everything we own fits into 2 suitcases and 2 backpacks. Plus, we have a little bit of stuff tucked away at Jillian's parents' garage.
But this was a pretty radical change for us, and we're still getting used to living with so little. Not that long ago, we were expats working in Singapore. We lived in a spacious 2-bedroom apartment filled with the normal amount of stuff, so we had all the furniture and other things that you accumulate over a lifetime. Plus, all kinds of odds and ends crammed into every drawer and cupboard.
Not only that, we also had a 10 by 10 foot storage locker back in Canada, also crammed full of things that we didn't necessarily want, but we couldn't get rid of either.
I must have had equipment for half a dozen sports that I would likely never play again, and I really had to lean in on the door just to get it closed.
Obviously, there's a huge difference between then and now. So today, we're going to talk about our journey to getting our possessions down to just 2 suitcases. We're going to talk about what we're carrying today, and we'll tackle the question of whether you need to be a minimalist to travel full time.
Our journey started when we realized that we didn't have to be stuck working corporate jobs forever. After some very stressful years in high-pressure jobs, we came upon this concept called financial independence. We realized if we cranked up our savings and investing, we would have enough money to live on for the rest of our lives.
So we made it our goal. We were going to retire early and live out our dream of seeing the world. But it was one thing to decide on a goal, it was quite another to make it happen. And if we really wanted to travel the world full time, we realized that we seriously needed to downsize.
We started by selling a few odd items here and there. Now at this stage, we still thought that we might put some of our furniture into storage, and we were still struggling with emotional attachments to so many of our possessions. It was hard to consider giving up a fancy bowl that was a wedding gift, even though we never ever used it and the person who gave it to us had long forgotten about it.
Eventually we realized that it just didn't make sense to pay to store belongings that we weren't using and may not use again. If we were going to start a new life and not be tied to any one location, it all had to go.
After months and months of selling and gifting everything we had in Singapore, we were able to hop on a one-way flight with just 2 suitcases, 2 backpacks, and our 2 little dogs.
That said, we still had a storage locker full of goodies to tackle back in Canada. And during our first year of travel, it cost us more than $1,100 US to maintain that locker. That's a lot of money just to store some old photo albums and some yearbooks. Fortunately, we were able to clear out our storage locker last year, get rid of it, and just have a few things tucked away with family.
So what are we left with today? Well, we don't feel that we're traveling light. We're not backpackers with just a change of clothes and a toothbrush, and there's literally no way that we could do a carry-on only flight with what we have right now.
And that's because we're traveling long term, so we need to effectively bring our whole household with us wherever we go. And we want to be comfortable. It's a lifestyle, it's not a vacation. So we need to have all of our necessities with us all the time, and that takes up a lot of luggage space.
So how much stuff are we talking about? Well, we have a 3-season wardrobe so that we can handle any weather, from t-shirts and flip-flops to down coats and cozy sweaters.
We love having an active lifestyle, so we have a lot of workout clothes, we've got hiking gear, and we've got a yoga mat.
We also love cooking, and we've discovered that no matter how much you pay, every Airbnb is missing something in the kitchen. So we travel with some cooking essentials like a cutting board, a chef's knife, vegetable peeler, and lots more.
We also have our 2 dogs, and they seem to have almost as much stuff as we do, like a grooming kit, beds, coats, and so much more.
And of course, there's all our technology, like our computer and video equipment. That's a lot of stuff. Our suitcases are jam-packed full.
In fact, if you want to see the complete list of everything we bring along, you can download our packing list from the link below.
Still, even though it seems like a lot of stuff to travel with, once we're all packed up and rolling out the door to a new location, we're reminded of how few belongings we really have.
So, are we minimalists? Well, despite how much stuff is crammed in our suitcases, we actually have a lot less than the average North American, so we no longer have any furniture. We don't have a kitchen full of pots and pans and all the rest of it. We don't have drawers and closets filled with clothes and sporting equipment and gadgets.
So from the perspective of someone who has a whole home full of stuff, of course we'd be minimalist. But from the perspective of a person who can spend a year living out of a small backpack, we're still far from living a minimalist lifestyle.
However, we certainly feel that our nomadic life has given us a much more minimalist mindset. So everything in our luggage needs to have a role and it needs to be used regularly. Otherwise, we just can't afford the space to bring it along. We really have no room for dead weight.
Of course, this also means that we tend not to accumulate anything. Anything we buy needs to be carefully considered, and we try to operate on a one in, one out system. So if we buy a new t-shirt, an old t-shirt has to go.
This is quite a contrast to our lifestyle before we started this whole early retirement nomadic journey. So previously, if we wanted something, we would just buy it. We used to keep a running list on Amazon of all the things we wanted, and we would not think twice about tossing something else into the cart just to make that minimum requirement for free shipping to Singapore.
I don't miss online shopping at all. I don't miss the hours I used to spend reading reviews, considering all the possible options, and obsessing over the perfect choice. Now, I find there are really very few things that I actually need once I spend some time thinking about it. And when I do need something, I just go into the store, make the best choice based on what's available, and I'm done in 5 minutes.
So let's get back to the question, do you need to be a minimalist to travel full time? Well, there's really no right answer for everyone. It really depends on your personal circumstances and what's right for you.
Maybe you're ready to strip your life's possessions down to the basics and travel full time with just a backpack.
Or maybe you love all your possessions and you wouldn't dream of selling them off. It's perfectly legitimate to keep a home base with all of your stuff, or even park it in a storage locker for a few years if you have room in your budget.
Yes, we got rid of everything, but we were living in Singapore as expats at the time, and we knew that when we left Singapore, we'd be leaving permanently. And we didn't know when or where we'd have a home again.
And we still don't. So downsizing to a couple of suitcases was the right decision for us.
We can say from our experience how liberating it is to have less stuff to worry about. We found that becoming full-time travelers has really broken that consumer cycle, and now the only things we're accumulating are experiences.
And we don't need to plan our whole lives based on where our furniture is. We're free to just make a home anywhere. So if you would like to know exactly what we're carrying with us on this adventure, you can download our complete packing list at the link right there.